Let's open up our Down and Dirty Pictionary sketch and drop in a headline. And if there's not enough room for a headline, let's select the snowman sketch layer and then select the transform tool and scale it down a little bit to make way for that headline. You may want to be above, you may want to below. I'm going to position my headline above the snowman, so I'm going down here. Alright, that's good enough. So I'm just going to tap on the transform tool again to deselect that. And now I'm going into the actions and selecting add text. And my keyboard pops up. You get a text box with highlighted text, which you can position. And as you can see, when I tap on the layers palette, a new layer was created with an A icon in it. Now you can edit this text by tapping the layers palette, which re-highlights that text box and calls the keyboard back up. And to highlight that text, you double tap on it. Double tapping for one word. If there's more than one word, let me set some text so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so if I double tap, I can select one word. If I triple tap, I can select one or more words, the whole content of that text box. And anything that's highlighted is highlighted in blue, and then you can isolate one particular word or character or whatever you want to grab in your text box, and you can change the color of it like so. Okay, so let's triple tap on all of that, and we'll use that color for now. And I'm going to set, and I think I'm going to go with caps, so I'm going to backspace, caps lock. And now I can edit this text. Again, I'm going to triple tap to select all of it. I've got this little dialog box up above, which I can right align, left align, pretty straightforward. Or I can dig a little bit deeper and I can select the typeface name, which you can see Alina 1, or the type style, which is semi-bold. Or I can also select this little A, uppercase, lowercase a icon down at the upper right hand corner of the keyboard. So tapping either of those three areas, again, the Alina 1, the semi-bold, or else that upper lowercase a, which I'm going to tap, calls up this dialog box where you can scroll through and select any range of typefaces. I might go with that, and the uppercase looks terrible, so I'm going to reset that text. Tapping edit text again. And let's make it upper and lowercase being a script font. Alright, that's better. Now I want to go back again. So this time I'm going to tap on the font name rather than the upper and lowercase a to call up that dialog box. And I'm going to highlight everything again by triple clicking. I'm going to bring it up in size. I can rearrange that text box. And then I can use these sliders so the leading is the space between your text lines. So I'm going to grab that. Tracking is the space between the characters, and I'm going to leave that where it is. And then kerning would actually be the space between two particular characters. It's the space between that L and E looks a little strange, so I might tighten that up just a, whoops. I'm going to tighten up that kerning just a smidge. That looks a little better. And also I want to kern between the W and the exclamation. Add a little bit of space. And that's good enough. Let's bring this back up in size again. Just a little bit more. Okay, good enough. And the rest of the controls in here are rather intuitive. Just play around with them. So in this first column, you've got your font selections. And then you've got your different styles over here. So let's try the semi-bold too, and let's beef that up a little bit. But anyway, these are the fonts that are readily available on your iPad. And after a while, you're making enough visits here, this selection gets a little bit limiting and vanilla. And so in this video, we're going to use this import font selection to add additional typefaces. But note that this method imports typefaces directly into Procreate, which is not an ideal means for building your typeface library. Just to show you where those are going to end up, I'm going to tap on my files. So this Procreate folder, tapping in here, this fonts folder is where additional typefaces are going to be added. And here is where no other apps can get at them. So not ideal, but we're going to go through the motions here. I'm going to swipe back up into Procreate. And so I'm going to tap this import font selection and grab a few more typefaces. And if you recall in this video, we had already downloaded a folder full of typefaces. So I'm going to navigate to that, my iCloud Drive. And you may also recall in that video that we had created these shortcuts on the sidebar. And I created this shared fonts folder where I dragged that folder full of typefaces. So tapping there, there's our Montserrat folder. So I'm going to tap on that. And as you can see, this is a pretty large typeface family. And unfortunately, you would have to import these one by one. So let's just grab, I'm going to go with the medium and bring that in. And let's just go back and grab the regular for now. Okay, so just to backtrack, I'm going to go back to the Procreate folder to show you that those two fonts made it in. You can see that our Montserrat medium and Montserrat regular weights were imported. So let's swipe up and get rid of this. And now I should be able to scroll down and find our new imports. Okay, so down here you can see in our font column, we now have Montserrat. And when we select that, you can see the two weights that I imported. And of course, if I continue to import every different weight, let me go back and grab one more. Let me get the thin. Come back again, and you can see the thin's been imported. So I do like my dancing script for this poster, this animation. So I'm going to come back and grab that again. And that's how you import fonts. I'm going to repeat here that importing typefaces directly into Procreate is not an ideal means for building your typeface library, because Procreate will be the only app that can use fonts that are imported this way. If typography plays a major role in your creations, then you should really consider adding your fonts to a library that's globally available to all apps on your iPad, and the link below will walk you through the necessary steps. And to wrap things up here, let's talk about those instances where you've moved on to other layers and then want to revisit your typesetting and typography. I'm pressing the Done button, and then I'm going to choose my snowman layer. And so to edit that text, I would have to reselect the layer. I can come back to the layers palette and choose it like so, or again, we have that long press gesture. So I'm pressing on the snowman here. I need to tap on a pixel area for this snowman sketch to come up. This is already selected in the layers palette, but if it wasn't, highlighting it like this will select it. And so again, the snowman sketch is still selected. So let's come back again. I'm going to long press on the type and hopefully nab a pixel area. When I long press that, if you recall back in the layers palette, the snowman layer was still selected. So when I highlight that and come back, you can see that I selected it by long pressing. And so from here, I can triple tap and get busy. And I think I'm going to change the color of this to something a little bit more wintry. We're past Christmas, so let's go to, that looks pretty wintry. And again, it's still selected, that layer is still selected, so I could tap on that layer anytime. And I'm not happy with that color entirely, so good enough for this tutorial. And now one thing to be careful of is while you're trying to edit text, if you tap and get this message, you do not want to hit the rasterize. You want to edit text. If you press that rasterize, what you're going to do is convert your live text layer into pixels, which will just be another part of the image area. So make sure you hit the edit text and get back in and edit away. And at the conclusion of this adding text video, I'll ask that you hold on to this winter scene as we'll soon be animating it. In keeping, you may want to refine your Pictionary quality snowman sketch, or you can come up with an entirely different winter scene. It's completely your call, but do allow some room for a headline as we've done here.